it was a few weeks ago, I shared with you a video in where I showed you how to take a few apps and deliver a similar level of Whoop-like amazingness onto your Apple Watch. You guys loved that video and you reached out and you were like, hey, can you do a follow-up? So today I'm gonna be sharing with you a few more apps that I think are really great. Let's start with sleep. Now, you could go with the native sleep tracker that now comes on the Apple Watch Series 6 and 7, but I've got two app options for you that I really like. One of which we've already talked about extensively, that was Pillow, and you can watch that old video if you want to get more data on it. But this other app I really like. It takes a very different approach to assessing sleep, and it's called Rise. Rise works by assessing your sleep debt. Essentially, it looks at the last 14 days of your sleep data to see what your sleep need is. And what you're not getting from your sleep need turns into sleep debt. The makers of Rise believe that sleep debt is going to be the #1 factor in assessing what your performance is going to be on the day. So if you want to peak perform, you can't have a substantial amount of sleep debt. Now, what's also really unique to Rise is from this sleep debt, they actually map out what your peaks and your valleys in your mental and physical performance are gonna be. It's actually gonna show you kind of waves where you're gonna have a peak performance, peak mental ability, and then a valley. Like this is where you're going to run into some grogginess. They're also going to give you a window, your melatonin window, where your brain is going to produce more melatonin, and that's going to make it easier for you to go to sleep and stay asleep longer. I think this could be really beneficial when you're trying to optimize your day and tackle your tasks. And from what I've seen and what I've used, those peaks and valleys have lined up pretty accurately. What I really like about its integration into the watch is all of these peaks and valleys can actually be seen on the watch. You can also set up notifications for that melatonin window, or if you want your peaks and valleys and all of this information to actually be shared with your sleeping partner, so your spouse or your partner, if they share a bed with you and you want them to know like when you're going to sleep or something like that, I wouldn't do it, but if you want to, you can do it with Rise. For most of us, getting healthy starts with food. So for me, I'm using the app LifeSum to do all of my food-related nutritional tracking. With LifeSum, you start off by setting your goal, whether or not that's to lose, maintain, or even gain weight. You'll obviously get a calorie goal from this process and a way to track those calories. Plus, you'll get a macronutrient ratio breakdown. Macronutrients are your proteins, fats, and carbs. Plus, you'll get a daily goal for how much of each of those macronutrients you should be eating. Adding food is incredibly easy on LifeSum. It's really straightforward. Also, you get a water tracker with LifeSum, which is great because that's something I actually need. I don't drink nearly enough water, so it's a nice little reminder, and you can set a notification for that. And since this pairs with the Apple Watch, on the Apple Watch, you'll get a breakdown of those calories, those macronutrients, and your water intake. This is something I figured out the hard way, but your mental health is vitally tied into your health. And I use apps now like COMM and Headspace to keep my mental health tip-top when I don't have access to my therapist. You honestly can't go wrong with either of these apps. However, I prefer Headspace. I like the look of it, I like the navigation of it, but more importantly, I just like the language that it uses surrounding like meditation and mental health.
Make sure you're sitting comfortably before you start. Unless you're used to sitting cross-legged on the floor, I'd recommend using a chair.
I also like the approach it takes as mental health as a skill, and it kind of teaches you in a childlike way, not a bad way, just a baby steps way.
Some days meditation will feel easy. On others, it might feel difficult. The trick is to gently stay with it each time, no matter how it feels.
And personally, I think it does this because most of us, including myself a few years ago, were very new to meditation, and it seemed very woo-woo. So I really gravitated to Headspace for that reason. It's got a SOS program, like help, I really need some help. When things are really bad, and like I said, I don't have access to my therapist, I can use the SOS program, and it's just a few minutes and it allows me to like really calm down. That comes in handy a lot, and I love it. Both of these are very similar as to like what they offer, both on the phone and on your Apple Watch. What I like is that you can do most of everything from the Apple Watch. You can go on, select the app, select the kind of program you want to do, whether it's a 5-minute meditation or prepping for bed or an SOS program. One major difference in the pricing though is that Headspace allows for a 14-day free trial, so you can test it out. But COMM uses a 7-day. So you're getting twice as much free exposure from Headspace as you are to COMM. But like I said, both are great apps and you can't go wrong with either. By now, if you've been watching me for any sort of time, you know how much I love my Whoop. And a few weeks ago when I released this video on how to take a few apps and turn your Apple Watch into a Whoop, in essence, get a Whoop-like experience, I really focused heavily on an awesome app called Athletic. On that video, I also mentioned a free version of like this app. Now that app is called Chipper. Now Chipper is a very nuts and bolts version of like Whoop and Athletic on your Apple Watch. It's going to strip everything down and give you far less insight. It's going to be far less granular, but it's free and it does the job. So if it is a stripped down version, what data is it going to give you? It's going to give you your 3 scores. It's going to give you your strain, which I believe they call your activity. It's going to give you your recovery and your sleep. It's also going to give you some very basic heart rate data. So heart rate variability, resting heart rate, respiratory rate. It is going to list your workouts and give you a score. However, it's not going to give you intra-workout data. Now, my favorite feature is how this works on your Apple Watch. And this might sound dumb because it is as basic as it can be, and that is precisely why I like it. On your Apple Watch, if you open up the app, all it's going to show you is your strain, your recovery, and your sleep. That's it, but I really like it because it doesn't get in my way and it doesn't distract from what I'm doing. This first app is the Nike NTC, or Nike Training Club. Now, I didn't pick this app just because it's beautiful, like everything else Nike touches. It is. But of who actually runs the NTC? Ryan Flaherty? Sorry, Ryan, your name is very hard for me to pronounce. But Ryan's a friend of mine that I met at Beaverton at Nike HQ a few years ago. Ryan is the head of Nike Training. That's a huge job. He trains athletes like Serena Williams and Cristiano Ronaldo.
My name is Ryan Flaherty. I'm the Senior Director of Performance at Nike, a podcast that's dedicated to helping you become the best trainer, the best
Ryan
athlete, the best
absolutely knows what he's doing, and he is a major part of the programming that goes into the Nike NTC app. So whether you're trying to improve your mobility or get ready for a combine, the Nike NTC app is awesome. Now, there are some things I don't like. You have to go into the app on your phone and select the program you want to do. The only thing you really get to see are calories burned and the duration, your time spent doing the program. There's not much that you really get to do on the Apple Watch. So it's not a very good phone-free option. Fitbod is the second app, and what I really love about this app is how Fitbod works with you. What do I mean? When you first start the app, it's going to start asking you some questions. And the first question is, how long have you been working out? It's assessing what your experience level is. Then it's going to ask what kind of equipment you have access to. Are you working with no equipment? Are you in a small garage gym, or do you have access to a massive gym? And this is so it can not only give you a program, but give you a program based on what you have access to, which I think is incredibly intelligent, and weird that a lot of other apps like this don't do the same thing. It's also gonna assess your goals. Do you want to stick strictly to muscle hypertrophy, or do you want more HIIT workouts and just burn a ton of calories? Then once you've answered those initial questions, it's gonna generate a workout program for you based on, again, all of those factors. Then once you've done that, it's going to generate a workout program for you and kind of periodize those workouts for you. It even knows like what muscles you used in the last workout, and program enough rest time accordingly, which is also really smart. So not only does it give you a workout based on the equipment that you have access to, based on your ability, based on your goal, but it's also going to periodize and program out enough rest time depending on the muscle groups that you used in the last workout. Now, probably the coolest feature about all of this is that almost everything you can do on the app can be done on the Apple Watch. So it becomes a pretty viable phone-free option if you want to work out and not take your phone with you for that workout. Okay, now for what I don't like. You only get 2, maybe 3 workouts for free, and then you have to pay for the paid full version of that app, which I believe is $79.99 for the entire year. Now, hear me out. If you are a very highly self-motivated person who does want the personal trainer experience but can't afford, the $100 an hour for a personal trainer, this could be an absolute home run. Now, when you're done with that workout and you need to stretch and recover, turn to Bend. I'll be honest, there are a ton of stretching, flexibility, and yoga apps out there, and I will say I really enjoy this one because it's so damn simple and it looks great. You do have to select the program on your phone. However, once you do select that program, the stretches and a timer show up on your watch. So you can be fairly phone free if that's an option you're looking for. Now, what don't I like about it? You only have access to the 5-minute quick start warm up stretch. Everything else is included with the paid version. There you have it. Those are my favorites. And I think with all of these apps, it really does excellently cover all of your foundations of health and fitness. So your stretching, your flexibility, your mobility, your recovery, your sleep, your mental health, your nutrition, and your workouts. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. It obviously tells me what videos you liked, but it appeases the almighty YouTube algorithm. So please do that. And if you want to see more videos just like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell down below. It's free, which is nice, but it also makes you eligible to win one of the kick-ass giveaways we do on this channel. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.